di Vanua o Naku Vadake, Nabatu Lebu, Turangana Tuinandi, Nabula. Members of the Vanua, Bula, Pulanaka, the coordinator of the Naku Vadake Cluster Farmers, Asinat Lawai, the chairman of the Naku Vadake Development Trust, Anare Nagutugute, our Permanent Secretary for Agriculture, Dr. Vinesh Kumar, Director Waterways Policy, Minister of Waterways, Mr. Vinesh Kumar, senior staff from Waterways and Agriculture, members of the Banua, my good friend Tooks, ladies and gentlemen, Bulag Naka to you all. Madam Niandra. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to begin my short Talanoa with you today by making this very important soul-searching statement that no farmer in this country who have access to land should be poor or should be in poverty. That lone landowner in this country should be poor or should be in poverty. So if there is any statistics, any data that says that our farmers who have access to land are in poverty, that's wrong, there's some problem there. Or if any statistics who says that any landowner is in poverty or poor, that's wrong, or there's an issue, there's a problem there. You yourself ask yourself, if you have access to land and sea resources, if you look at the land tenure system in Fiji, any landowner, their land is from ridge to reef. That's the standard in Fiji. Your land is not only in the coastal area, it's ridge to reef, because you have access to the ridge, the flora and fauna, the vegetation, the food on the ridge, and you have access to the food in the sea. And if that is the case, then there's no case that anyone can make why a landowning unit should be in food poverty. If they are saying they are in poverty or poor, then the definition that they are using is very different. Maybe we should then go and look at the definition. Are they talking about cash poverty? What does cash poverty mean? So we all, when we are talking about well-being, livelihood, growing together, then all of us should be on the same page, same ground, or we share the same definition of poverty or well-being or livelihood or growing together. This government, led by Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Josia Moringi Panemarama, means what he says, that we must grow together. Whether you are in Kandavu or Udu Point or in Nabukadake or Nambutautau, we want to grow together. The benefits of government growth must be shared with everyone. The surplus that is created by individual households, farmers, landowners, business sector, that surplus, if a lot of people participate in creating that surplus, then that surplus will be spread out. If Tooks is running a business of, let's say, agriculture or sugarcane of 100 acres, if Tooks basically uses 1 or 2 labor and that's it, and creates a surplus or profit, then it's only shared with the 2 labor and Tooks and his family. But if Tooks leases the land, buys the organic manure from some party A, hires about 400 labor from 4 different villages, then when the profit is made, then Tooks will share with. The 400 laborers will be paid through wages, the landowners will be paid the land rent, the manure supplier will be paid the price of the manure, the tractor person who hired the tractor will be paid the tractor hire rate. So that profit that is created is shared. So the growth model that allows a lot of people to participate, that's the best growth model, because then only everyone can grow together. It applies to every area of growth and surplus creation. We are very honored to be here in this village today because we see that COVID-19 has opened up a new thinking, a new opportunity. Every adversity, every challenge has opportunities that needs to be taken up. And I'm so excited that last time when we were here, we saw so much of enthusiasm. I want to thank Madam here. She has been a pillar of strength for this group here. I want to thank the members of the Banua, the Tuinandi, and the other leaders of this community here, the Development Trust and the Farmers Cluster, for providing that leadership so that young people can realize that, look, your strength comes from your resources, the resources that you own. But the resources will not generate income itself. The resources need to be worked on. And the decision you made that day to invest 5,500, that was not an expenditure, that was an investment. You made an investment in your youth's future, in your village's future, in terms of investment to improve the quality and the livelihood of your village households. Remarkable investment you made. And we are here. We are here as a member of the government and my team from Waterways and Agriculture. We want to say that we are with you. We're with you. All we need is you, let's share the same vision. We may diverge, let's Talanoa and converge, and we're willing to support, as we have done this far. I mean, we've been doing this from 2014, when, we had contributed to a farmhouse. We had provided a power tiller, rotavator, planting materials, nursery set for mushroom production in 2018. Somewhere you had, kind of gone astray. But under the new leadership, you're now understanding the importance of agriculture. And COVID-19 showed that your strength lies here. Because this sector doesn't require you to have a diploma or degree or PhD or master's. This sector doesn't require you to have any formal qualification. This sector doesn't differentiate between gender or class. This sector says we need you to be passionate about agriculture. Be passionate about agriculture. And you are now. You have now realized that your gold is here, your land. It just requires a little bit of additional support from our staff. We've got very good staff here. Agriculture, Solo, PS there, Waterways, Sonal. We are here to support you. And I want to tell you that last year, in 2020, compared to 2019, we had a major increase in production in agriculture. We increased exports by 16% in volume, 24% in value. This year, first 6 months, compared to last year, first 6 months, our exports went up by 8%. We are continuously raising the bar in terms of what we can achieve with regard to pushing exports of fresh produce and chilled produce from Fiji. There are several reasons. We have still a lot of room, a lot of space to increase production and supply. There's huge space in the market of Australia and New Zealand where we can continue. There's still space there, room there. We have a brand image, our agriculture produce. People prefer our ginger in Australia and New Zealand than what's come from Thailand or Philippines. People prefer our turmeric in America. Consumers there prefer our Duruka, our Dalo. We are not able to fulfill the demand for Dalo in the export market. And now, We are about to open the borders, and the tourism sector is opening the doors. And I want to send a message to the tourism sector that all along they've been saying that where is the supply, where is the quality, where is the consistency. I'm saying we are working on it, but they need to be true to their word in terms of taking our produce, buying our produce. For so long, in the hotels we have seen menu-driven, purchasing officers. Easier for them to, press one button and supply comes from Australia or New Zealand. We're saying no more of those. They should buy our own produce. They should buy our own popo, our own cabbage, moza, roro. I was in Samoa, and I saw on the a la carte menu written local spinach. So I was wondering, what is local spinach? I know what a spinach is, but what is local spinach? So I saw when they brought it, it was rolled steamed bella leaf. They proudly served the steamed bella leaf. I was in a couple of years back in Paris, went to have dinner. I saw some pasta and some pizza there. That's a typical Spanish food. So I said, can I have grilled fish? They said, no, we don't serve grilled fish. I said, no, I don't like pasta. He said, no, that's the food we have. They did not worry about whether the hotel, tourist wouldn't like pasta. That's what they wanted to showcase. They wanted to demonstrate, show that this is their traditional food. And that's what our hotels should do. It's time. That's what they should be doing. They must buy our produce, serve it proudly, that this is Fiji's produce. There should not be any excuse that tourists there don't like moza or roro or bele. They must serve it. They will buy it. They will consume it because they are coming here to experience different food, different culture, different environment. That's why they're coming here. So we're going to meet the tourism sector and say that our farmers are ready to supply. There will be some consistency in issue because we do face unforeseen weather situation. But look, that should not be a reason to say we will import from Western Australia. They must look inward. It's time now. And I want to ask all of you and farmers in Fiji, let's get ready. Let's get ready. We have it. In the export market, we have a name. Our brand image of our produce comes from pristine environment in an island in Fiji. No chemical, no contamination. We also need to maintain that brand image. So today is a very proud day for this village because you have set the foundation to grow your agriculture, your supply. You are in control of that industry. You're not in control of your employment in the tourism sector. If you were, then you wouldn't have lost the job. You're not in control of your employment in town. No, but you are in control of your engagement with your farm. That's the beauty about agriculture. When the economy came to a standstill during COVID-19, shops closed, hotels closed, but you continued on your farm because you had a commitment to feed your people and to feed the people of Nandi and people of Fiji. And we had no issue about food security. When the COVID-19 immediately started the second round, there was a period where, a dark period. There was lockdowns, there was curfews, and we were worried that there could be an issue. But immediately we took control by providing seed packages to urban households, by providing packages for farmers who had farmed. Let's grow and ensure that we have enough food to eat in case there is a blockage of shipments coming with food. We don't want to ever face that situation again where we get worried about cut off in shipping lines and how do we feed our people. It should never arise because we have what it needs to feed our own people. We can do it if you, the landowners, the farmers, the laborers, the households share the common vision, two key common vision: ensuring food and nutritional security, and number two, pushing growth of commercial agriculture and export agricultural produce and products. On the product side, we are a bit weak. We are talking to food processors. Last night I was in Lenga talking to a food processor who is very interested, really interested to develop small sachets, packets of dried vegetable that you can put in noodles pack. At the moment you're eating noodles, your children love noodles, but there's hardly any health benefit there. But what we want is inside the noodle pack, there's a small sachet, instead of that soy sauce and that stuff, dry green moza or roro, dry powder. You put it with the noodle, and there you go. It becomes a vegetable noodle soup pack, nutritious, which has value. So we're thinking outside the box. We can do it, and that particular person is interested in doing that. So very exciting periods. I want all of you, and a message to all farmers, all commercial entrepreneurs: think big, think like a business person, treat agriculture as a business activity rather than a part-time or lazy activity. Those days are gone, where you wake up 9 o'clock after grog dog, pick a knife and go a little bit of wherever, come back. No, that's not how you treat agriculture. Okay? Let's treat it as a business. Like you want to do if you're working in a shop, 7 o'clock you wake up, 8 o'clock you reach. I want you to reach the farm, treat the farm as same manner. You're treating the shop like from 8 to 4:30, why can't you treat your farm that in the same manner? It's not a leisure. You can't treat it as a leisure activity. You won't get the kind of return that you would want to. So thank you, Vinaka, and I look forward to having a good talanwa with you today. And it's my pleasure today to hand over this tractor, which you've earned it. You've contributed it. It's your investment. You've contributed 5,500. The other part is government's contribution through a donor. So it's a pleasure to be here today. I send you warm greetings from our Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Jose Oringa. Thank you. Naka. Naka. Thank you. Boleh. Murung-murung minta kontrolin apa? Naka.